Hello and welcome to the Beat Brings Us Together podcast, presented by myself, Luke Hassan. It's a show where I invite talented musical individuals to discuss their story as we dig deeper into their musical journey. We'll discover where it all began for them, where they are now, and where they look for the future. This week on the podcast, we have Ali O'Sullivan, and he's going to be telling us all about his DJ career, what he's got going on with his productions at the moment, plenty of advice for upcoming producers and DJs in there too. You will learn a lot on this one. Enjoy! Okay, Ali O'Sullivan, thanks for joining us on the podcast.
No problem. How you doing?
Yeah, very well. We've got a very nice setting today. We'll paint the scene on a nice, big, lush corner couch in Ali's house. He's been kind enough to let us do the podcast in here. So
Yeah, man.
thank you.
Yeah, pleasure.
Yeah,
Pleasure, man.
So
Welcome.
we'll dive into it. And I wanted to ask you what your first experience of music was. Where did you first feel the rhythm?
Oh, first experience? I don't know. Maybe going back, my mum and dad were into techno quite like religiously. So
Wow.
like every house of God or anything like that they used to go to like religiously. Like we'd always go to my grandma's for pretty much the weekend. So I mean it was probably then listening to like the tapes from like House of God tapes to Clockwork Orange and things like that, which are really like heavy, sort of a bit too heavy for like a 10-year-old kid maybe. I think I was about like 9, 10. So yeah, that's probably my first experience when I felt that I kind of like this, and then started listening to like Danny Rampling stuff and Boy George and Judge Jules, and then it obviously snowballed from then. But yeah, I think maybe it's probably been, I hate to say it, palmed off to my grandma's once every few weeks for them to go to House of God. But yeah, it's just had that influence on me, I guess. It's a bit of a weird one, but yeah, it's probably that I would have said.
Mate, that's super interesting to hear, man. That's the second week in a row this has happened. Like I've been, I think I'm always shocked because my parents were so big into more like Motown and disco and maybe some more poppy stuff like the Carpenters and stuff like that. So, So when I do hear people's parents are really into house and techno, it's like, wow.
It's mad. It's
giving
crazy.
you kind of maybe a head start in a way.
Yeah, it's like my mum said to me the other week. I was still going clubbing twice a week when I was your age. I'm like, I'm 30, Bob. Yeah, wow, okay. Yeah, I do remember. But yeah, thanks for reminding me.
Maybe an early education. Instead, is that a better word? Yeah, an early education into house and techno. Well, what can you give me a song that reminds you of those times, or something that makes you think of your parents going to those sort of nights?
Oh, gosh, it's probably, I don't know. My mum's favourite song is probably "Grace Not Over Yet," which is
yes,
that's a quality tune. Like there was all sorts of like Chemical Brothers tracks on, and and then suddenly we'd be listening to Danny Rampling tape, and then my dad would come and put the Beastie Boys on. It just went from that to that, but that's where I sort of got that sort of choppiness from. Well, I think so anyway, from listening to just off the cuff random stuff. But yeah, I think I'd say it was Grace. Definitely one song that sticks in my mind that constantly gets replayed.
Yeah,
when I go and visit my mum still now, So yeah, it's probably that was probably the track that stays in my head the most. I think there are others, but looking from when I was younger, I would have said that was definitely the one. To be honest,
might be a question for your mum, but did she like the Klaxons? It's Not Over Yet when they covered that. Was she into that?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
It's a good cover, man.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'll pick up on that something later. But what do you think brought you into, I guess, more the house stuff? Was it like people like Danny Rampling then? And bringing into where you are now in a way, like that sort of genre, more like solid
Yeah,
floor to the floor stuff.
I think it was like maybe Audio Bullies and like Groove Armada I started listening to as
Yeah.
I started growing up. I mean, I used to be a massive Michael Jackson fan. I know it's not nothing to do with house, but it's still got that. It's still music. It's still got that weird vibe. Everything interlinks. I think at the end of the day. So I started listening to pop music first, and then obviously techno was the occasion. Obviously, when my parents were going out and stuff. So I then obviously moved on to like the Audio Bullies, which was very, very me, and then Groove Armada and the Chemical Brothers, and those people had a massive influence. And then listening to like Judge Jules, Pete Tong and stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone knows those sorts of characters. But yeah, I think it was. I don't know. Yeah, maybe Basement Jacks was for me. Got me proper bouncing.
Yeah.
That they were the ones I think out of everyone, which sort of turned me to the housey side of it, and then and then it just went on from there. Really, to be
Yeah.
honest. um,
I always think artists like Groove Armada, like Chemical Brothers, Basement Jacks, they're always people who seem they can go on such a wide spectrum of music, but it's still, like you say, it's still got that something that brings it into the house or electronic sort of music that still gets you moving. And it's so incredible that they can do something like that.
Yeah, it's mad. It's. I mean, like I started getting into like the Freemasons, which is a bit lighter, but obviously you've got all like, the piano chords and stuff in there, and your brain starts to tick, and oh well, how do these people make this? How do they do this? Where do they come up with these ideas? And you start to think, well, years ago. I mean, how old are you now?
I'm 29.
29, so it's the same age of
Yep.
30. Like years ago, there used to be nothing really. I think it was a console on the PlayStation that you could
That was
mix
wasn't
with.
it?
I can't.
DJ 2000?
Yeah, I think so.
Like
Like that, yeah,
that, isn't it? Yeah.
That if you were lucky enough to have a PlayStation, then you could use it. But it was nothing. There was nothing really there unless you knew someone to start. You just didn't know where to start from. There was nothing in school or anything like that. So it was a kind of, obviously when you start moving up and up and up into sixth forms and stuff like that, then it started to come through. Like now you look at it, I mean, been to Point Blank College in London and studied there with Stefano Ritteri and that, and that's amazing. But that's now. Like years ago, there was none of that. I was speaking to a guy at the weekend, and I was trying to make him aware that when we were kids, there was nothing out there for music production whatsoever. So it was a case of like ideas in your head, but you couldn't get them down. So it was quite frustrating. But now, obviously, you've got like the likes of Logic, Ableton, just the list goes on, Pro Tools, and
So what brought you to production then? Where did it start?
I think I started off as a DJ at first.
Okay.
And some people start back to front, don't they? But my grandpa was a DJ in London, like in the 60s and 70s. So he used to do like disco music and stuff. And when we used to go downstairs in London, it's flat. It's like a hoarder's paradise of records, which was like just crazy. You felt lost in like vinyl and dust. Just everywhere you sat, there was a record. So like, I used to get like ideas from there, and I started DJing out and started going to Birmingham at a young age. And I always wanted like, it's great. I started on turntables. I had my first set for Christmas, but you kind of get the feeling that when you've sort of been DJing for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, you want to maybe change a track because you think it's going to suit your set a bit better by changing it, and you want to edit something, and then you look at, say, oh, how can I edit this? And then you ended up with like maybe I think it was like Audacity or something. I was trying to edit stuff on, and just like really silly stuff that I couldn't do anything with. To do what I wanted to do. So I ended up obviously looking more into it and then started producing from there. But I think, I think that's the main thing that sort of grew me into producing, because I wanted to make edits, and make my own music. It wasn't the case of, oh yeah, I love to mess about with a synth for 10 hours and try and tweak it and get the perfect sound. It was making what was right for my performance. So and it's fun. It wasn't fun at the beginning. Obviously, everyone knows it could be like daunting, but it's great fun. Like, just especially now when you could just drag and drop a few samples, or you get everything set up. You can just hit a drum machine. I mean, like a drum machine there, you can just hit a few buttons on the drum machine, you're away, you've got a groove going, you know what I mean? Like years ago, you'd have to get a floppy disk and process it, and that's going back a bit far, that is, but like on the MPC or something like that. I think it was a bit daunting at first, so I sort of held back and thought, I'll just do a few edits and stuff and see how we go. And and then I just suddenly went into music production, electronic music production at Stalbert High School.
Cool. Okay.
And then just went from there, really, and loved it, even though they were trying to get us to produce country music, which was not the point of the whole course. So it didn't really sit well with me. But so I made like an electronic country vibe track. And I just went from there, really, to be honest. But it's one of them. You can go to, like, I've been to Point Blank and places like that, and I find I speak to some amazing artists, and most of them have taught themselves, and it's amazing. You can go to a few groups, a few classes or courses to get your feet through the door and get yourself sunk into that door. Written on Ableton, Logic, or both, or whatever you want to. Fruity Loops. I can never get my head around that at all. I know quite a few people that use it, but it's obviously so many different platforms now. You can just learn yourself. I mean, I say it's easy, but it's like, it's a lot easier than what it was. Yeah. You know what I mean?
The options are there.
The options
you can
are
learn
there
from YouTube. You can experiment. You
like
can online community
to
speak to. It's not just you in the bedroom.
It's not
anymore.
just you in the bedroom anymore. No, and it's not just you just on your own. You can just literally. I mean, I remember trying to use the internet. You remember dial-up?
Yeah, like, even talking to people socially online was a challenge in itself.
It was a nightmare. It's like, get off the internet. You're on because you're holding the house phone up. The house. So yeah, it was just a case of it was very daunting at the beginning. So I just went with it, and now here I am. I guess just producing music every day. Sometimes you can write a track in a few hours. Sometimes you can write it like yourself. You can write loads of grooves down. You can get loads of grooves locked in a few minutes, and then chuck it away. You don't like it, but you can start again in a few more minutes, and you can save it, you can delete it, you can redo it, and it's just amazing. Now I sit and think that actually you couldn't do all that stuff before. Once you had that in stone, that was it. There was pretty much no going back unless you wanted to start again. Now you just like click, delete, start again.
Definitely helps with. Well, for me, I think it helps with your creative flow.
Yeah, your creative flow,
and the more creative you are, the more experimental you are, the more you can develop as an artist, develop your sound.
Yeah, definitely. It's
I love. Well, let's carry on with that, because I think I think you've taken you had your productions that were coming out a few years ago were great. Loved them. I think you really had a good thing going. You seem to take a little step away for a little while.
Yeah, so I step away from my son. So obviously, as you do.
Who's great. I've just met him. He's brilliant. Very shy. Well, I think
for now,
a weird man with glasses and a beard walks in his house. That's how you should be, kids. Be afraid.
No, he's cool, but he's interested in music straight away. You know, as soon as I open the studio door, or I find him in there normally. You know, he's in there playing the keyboard, pressing every button and twirling every knob, which drives me insane. But he does actually come up with some good music. So yeah, he's on his way. But yeah, I had a break for a bit. I started like touring into like South America and stuff with music and DJing over there, and it's obviously then I had the little one, so now I've had a break. I've been working on a lot of music really.
Yeah.
I've been throwing a lot of music away as well, and just clearing my backlog out and starting again really, to be honest, because it always seems to everything seems to be moving, so you need to adapt to what's going on as well. I mean, I didn't really leave it, but I was very, you know, if we're pushing out like 3 EPs a year to pushing like 1 track out a year, you know what I mean, or maybe none. So you know, it's good to have a break as well. So I think I needed it.
Yeah. Well, I think I've been in a very similar position.
Yeah.
I've had a bit of like nearly a year off, and now I'm coming back. I feel refreshed.
That's it. Yeah.
I think just I have a different approach to it now as well. I think I've had time to think about what I want to do. Maybe I was just trying to push before, and it's like, no, I think you should just be happy with what I'm making. If I only want to make a couple of tunes a month, then that's totally cool with me.
That's good. That's it. Yeah, yeah. You should just enjoy it more. And people like myself, I've done it myself. Like a big DJ will play your track out, and then you think, oh, this is it. I need to push, and then you end up screwing yourself over because you just can't. I mean, I was speaking to a chap the other day, and he said, you know, he's been doing this, he's been doing that. How can I do this? How can I do that? So, mate, just chill, just relax. Like, I've been in your position. Just take your time. It will come eventually, you know. So you've just got to just keep doing what you're doing. The best thing is just keep doing what you're doing, you know. And just try and keep bettering yourself. Like, set yourself little challenges, like with music. Like, I'll just like Patrick Topping told me this years ago. The best thing is like to emulate sounds. So pick a certain sound in a track, and then try and copy it. Yeah, not necessarily for your track, but just as practice.
It's like an education for yourself.
Yeah, so you're educating yourself, but also you're playing about you're having fun, but you're trying to emulate a sound from that track.
That is working, you know. It's not proved to work, but it's
working. But like something you like.
Yeah.
So that gives you then the go to actually go and do it somewhere else in another track that you're going to make. And then it gives you that hands-on capability to think, oh, hang on a minute, I know what this does. I know what that does. You know, because a lot of these soft synths are like, you know, you've got like 10 reverbs and you've got like, you know, delays and resonances and all these different cutoffs and filters.
I've bought so many plugins over the years. And you're like, I just keep buying. You know, the ones that come with it.
Yeah,
you can do so much with just those. Just learn how to use it.
I have so many plugins, and that's one thing I'd say I get asked constantly every time I'm out at a gig is what synth did you use? I normally get, actually I had a Facebook message a few months ago. Oh, what plugin did you use for that? What plugins do you use for your bass? What plugins do you use for your lead? Well, you know, you can use anything really, to be honest. And don't get me wrong, I'll tell them, but it's like, you know, because I love helping people, you know, because it would be nothing more frustrating than me sat there trying to ask someone else, they say you the same question. Yeah. You know, me to say, oh, I don't know. You know, so some artists probably would do, you know, I can't say, but you know, you can make that really sound anywhere. So you can use anything, but the plugins they're pretty much all the same. Yeah. You know, and it's just best thing is to do, which I learned at Point Blank, was you choose three synths and learn them inside out. Yeah. and that's it. Don't buy anything more. Don't get a track. Oh, you see a pop up saying, "Oh, Dave Smith on offer for 30%," 30% discount for a soft synth. But just stick to what you know, and then you can. Once you know that, then you can progress on to something else.
Yeah.
I made a mistake of going all out, saying, "Oh, I want that one. I want Diva. I want Elements. I want a Moog soft synth. Oh, I need this. I need that. Predator." And you've got all these synths, and you're just like, I can't use all those in a track. So, how do I use this? What's this do? And then you sort of get frustrated with yourself, and then your tracks, you were making a track and you were having fun, and now actually you're panicking because you don't know how to tweak a synth where, you've got synth perfectly in Ableton and Logic. You could just use to start off with, So yeah, don't go mad.
Don't go mad spending money on
Don't go
synths.
spending loads of money on synths because they're expensive as well.
Yeah, unless someone wants to give me or Ali any synths, and we can recommend some synths on here for you.
Yeah, man.
No problem.
Yeah, definitely.
We like the Waves collections. SSL, UAD plugins. We can
UAD plugins.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah.
Actually, saying that for production, I would say just learn a handful of synths. But I think maybe in the mixing and mastering stages, there are certain plugins
mixing
there.
and mastering.
That's another world for another time.
Yeah. I mean, we touched on that in Point Blank, and there definitely is like things which are no good, and there's things which are absolutely outstanding at mixing and mastering. And there are very, very good techniques. Like pink white noise techniques, and that was a weird one. I was talking to someone a few years ago now.
Getting a little technical on the podcast now. This is for our producers out there.
Yeah, but yeah, there definitely is with that. I agree with you. Yeah, definitely with mixing and mastering, there's certain plugins which are definitely a cut above the rest. I would have said, yeah.
Well, I'm loving your approach at the moment, man. You've been sending me some wicked tracks. Do you think this needs anything more? I'm like, mate, it's just so good as it is. I just can't even think about what to add. And I've seen how you seem to be in about 4 or 5 of them now, putting them up with a little video on Facebook, developing.
Yeah.
And you can see, he's building some tracks here.
Spinning video.
Yeah, you'd put an edit up recently. Oh, that was great as well.
Yeah, that was just. Do you know what? I just did that by accident.
Okay.
But the really, a lot of when you read and you hear stories and stuff, most of the stuff is people have like big tunes by accident, and maybe you accidentally layered something wrong, or you've put your bass into a synth and into your lead synth, and now it's actually sounds wicked, But yeah, it was a bit of an accident. I was searching for a vocal or some vocal cuts, and then I actually stumbled upon. I forgot what the vocal's called now. But I stumbled upon the vocal, and then it just suddenly I just thought, well, actually, I'm going to do something with this. So yeah, I just went ahead. Jodie Watley looking for a new love. So I thought, well, it's a bit of a liberty if I call it my own song, as some people have been doing. So I thought, it is the original's absolutely fantastic, classic disco track. So I thought, let's just make an edit for me to play it in my sets. And I put it on the internet, and then everyone was asking for it. So I need to put it as free download really, to be honest. So I'll just get around to that because I'm being a bit lazy.
Yeah, I think sometimes with those, you got to find the right place to put it to make sure it gets traction with how social media algorithms work and things like that.
Definitely. But yeah, I did that. But yeah, I always send my tracks out, even maybe at like version 3, 3.2, 3.5.
Yes.
final version 7. Or rubbish master. But yeah, I always do it because years ago now, I used to get told that my tracks were very stripped back. like very very stripped back, and like if anyone's heard them, like old stuff, it's really really stripped back, almost like solid groove style. But then they were telling me to put, you need to layer more musical elements into it.
Yeah.
But I think obviously everything comes full circle. So, I still really haven't, I have sort of adjusted my sound, but I still haven't changed my style. So yeah, I mean,
You can hear it, and you have got this reflective style.
yeah, it's a bit weird.
That's gone.
I don't know what it is. It's just it's just like a weird sort of, I don't know. I think it's like.
Well, you mentioned earlier actually, with your influences start with all the Beastie Boys and cuts like that you can hear that in your tunes. Just the way the beat flows.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like you've put it together like a hip hop MPC or something. It's definitely got that groove to it.
I actually, now you say that, I do. I've tried. Like I thought, I'll go try and practice today and make a track that sounds like this, which is in, this is doing the rounds at the moment or whatnot, like a big track. And I end up making a track, and it's like just a straight beat. A proper forward in your face beat, and then I for some reason I'll just end up putting my own swing on it without even adding any swing at all, and then I end up back at my sort of track. So I've like come full circle, tried to make a track like someone else, and then come back, but it is good practice, we've messing about not just with house music, messing about with like hip hop and stuff, because my friend produces hip hop, Joel, in Manchester, and they do like grime and stuff like that.
Cool.
So it's good to like work with them a bit as well, because it gives you like, especially when you do crossovers like that, it gives you so much, like the spectrum's crazy, so it gives you so many ideas, especially from vocal ideas as well.
That's helpful.
Swinging. That's the worst thing ever. Like that's been the producer's gripe is like, I need a vocal for this, and the amount of tracks I get sent is like, what vocals should I use for this? I need a vocal. I am guilty of doing it myself. Like I'll send my mates. I'll probably send you.
You've asked me. I'm like, oh mate,
vocal, no vocal. And it's just one of them things that just comes in the end. It's like, it's really weird. I think I'm better. Some people, I was having this conversation with someone the other day, and some people are better doing their, how would I put it, their bass first or their kick first.
Yeah.
And then they're really just saying, no, you got to do the kick first, then your bass, then you do your hi-hats, and you add, and so forth. But me, I'd do my vocal first, because
that's interesting.
I'd do my groove first, because, I say I'd do my groove first, but if it's got a vocal in, and 9 times out of 10, I'd start with like maybe my kick and my hats, just straightforward, something simple, but then edit some vocals or some stabs or some weird noises, and then follow the bass in, because the bass fills in the gaps. I don't. That's a little trick. I do. Yeah. I don't stick to the way of the bass. The percussion fills in the gaps, because then that's just the same as everything else. So I always fill in. I didn't realise I was doing it until someone told me I was doing it a few months ago, that we were doing a collab with together, and I was just like, oh, I do, yeah. I've been doing that for years and I haven't even noticed. And he was just like, yeah, it's good to do it that way, because obviously, it's just different.
Well, it means the vocals and those sounds definitely fit as well.
Yeah,
You're not trying to fit a vocal to it.
To your track. So which is harder, yeah. So some people get to like 3 minutes in the track of producing, and they're like, I think it needs a vocal, but hang on, let me just sit on YouTube for 8 hours and go through vocals, and we've all done it.
Yeah,
and
of course.
It's just mad, because like if you do your vocal first, and there's a good thing called I forgot what it's called, but I'll have to find it for you. You can do loads of vocal loops and different chops and stuff and things with it. It's called Tornado.
Oh, you sent me this, haven't you?
Yes.
You sent that my way.
Yeah,
Tornado. That was cool.
That's cool. So you can do
that.
loads of little vocal chops and stuff for that, and like little reverbs and echoes and stuff, little quirky things. You don't obviously have to use them as they are, but you could just chop your sample up, reverse them, and just have fun. But I always do that, and then I'd build my hats off that. So I'll probably go and edit my hats again, and then do a different lineup of hats, and then I'd do my bass, and then throw some percussion in and out, and then I'd end up with like, a bit of a groover, really. To be honest, that's or just quit it and start again. But yeah, that's probably one of my tips. Is I try doing the vocal first. Try something different. Even do the lead first. It doesn't matter.
Even just something to just try it.
Try
just
something,
change your flow, but you make you more creative.
Try
maybe have some inspiration there.
You try something different, and sometimes you end up with a different track because a lot of music. Some people do moan at me for saying this, but it does. A lot of the stuff does sound the same, and you see time and time again on the internet. It's the same, and it's like, I hate saying it because there's some amazing artists out there. But once someone brings one track out, then you've got another 10 following it, which are very similar to the first thing that broke through. So yeah, I'm trying to stay away from doing stuff like that. But hopefully, it's just good to experiment. Really, it's good to do something different. And just remember, like, labels are always looking, like big labels are always looking for something different.
Yeah, they're looking ahead, aren't they? Maybe people are going to start signing now in September for
maybe 2 years
the end
down
of the
line.
summer, next year, maybe winter even. Yeah. Some of them have got over 12 months.
Yeah,
planning.
definitely, yeah. But always aim high as well for like labels. So if you're thinking your label's going to be your tracks you want to be on Hot Creations, send them to Hot Creations. If you think they want to be on, I don't know, Get Physical, or if you think you're going to be on Moon Harbour or anyone like that, aim high. And if they don't take it, give them a message after. If they don't take it, if they don't reply, then go a step lower and down to your tiers, because obviously don't settle. If you just get a label message you one day and say, I want to sign your track, that's something you've made. That's, you're giving that away to them to put out. And you want to be heard from that track. So don't just give it away for free, because that's like you giving away your soul for that's why probably know yourself, I'm really funny. I can be a pain in the backside of siding for labels, but just don't give up your music too freely. Obviously work your way down, and then obviously if you're happy with it, do it. If not, keep it. That's, I've been sitting on records for like 3 years now, because obviously it's not the right time to release.
Yeah.
And they still get played out. They still get played out now, but it's just one of those things. I wouldn't give them away.
Well, I mean, that's the sign of a good record, isn't it? Sometimes that it doesn't really matter when it comes out. It can still deliver to the dance floor.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Let's take a little break.
Yeah,
do a little break. We'll catch
a little break,
on part 2. Yeah.